Okay. I haven't made a video in over a week and it feels like I'm starting fresh all over again. I would love to blame this on my cats, but it's honestly my fault. I broke my other lens and now I'm left with the one that is really good. It was very expensive, but as far as talking to the camera, it's not very good because I have to be super close and then you can see everything that's going on here. And like, this is a gardening channel. Like, you don't want to see everything, anyways, there has been a lot that's been happening and I feel like but I feel like it's important throughout this growing season to remind myself why I'm making these videos. I have been on a flower farming, gardening journey since I bought my home on March 3rd of 2021. So it is 4 years. We are 4 years celebrating our 4-year anniversary together. I haven't lived in my home that long because we had to renovate it. But I've had a garden for that long. Like as soon as I signed the deed, the title, whatever, I was here with the shovel figuring out where I was going to put a garden. So the garden has been around. It's been developing for the past 4 years. The house has also been developing on very different paths. But anyways, if you don't know who I am, if you don't know me, hi, my name's Leela. Welcome back to my garden diaries. I am a 20-something who is currently trying to pursue some sort of thing with gardening. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's going to look like. I think it's going to look different than everything else. You know, I'm not the type of person who does things the way other people do. Like, I have my own, I work for myself. I make punch needle kits, like punch needling and rug making. Like, that's my job. Like, I've sort of made my job. There are other people that do it, but like, I made it so I don't think that the gardening or the flower farming is going to look the same way that it does for a lot of other people. I am a very creative person. I like to make things, and I think finding some way to take my creativity and blend it with the growing is probably the right path for me. I just don't know what that looks like because there's not an example necessarily of that. But anyways, I need to remember why I'm making these videos. And why I'm making these videos is to document my growing journey, to document myself, to document my garden, how it's going to change throughout the year, and also how the flowers go. And on that note, there's been some developments. I am officially flower farming this year. This is the year 2025, which is such a strange year. I was born in 1997, so saying 2025 is like, how is that even real? But with all the things that are going on in the world, I feel like beauty and nature and mindfulness and taking care of ourselves is so important. And I feel like flowers are the perfect way to encapsulate that in almost every way, whether you're growing them yourselves or you're buying them from someone else, like in any way, whether it's through a candle or pressed flowers or dried flowers or a floral perfume or just anything that has to do with beauty and self-care and spending time with yourself and nature, I think is really important. More so now in my life than ever. So maybe I'm projecting. But so I'm going to be doing flower farming. And what kind of initiated that was I met someone in my local community who's also doing this, and so we're going to be doing it together, and that's really exciting. And I'm hoping that I can show you the gardening space and the farming space. And I just finalized what may or may not be the crop plan for subscriptions, and we've been doing farmers markets, so just like a lot has been happening, and I haven't wanted to like share anything, but it also is getting overwhelming. So I'm hoping I can keep up with these videos because I think it'll be important to document not only what I'm doing in my own garden, but also on the flower farm, which is just like less than a quarter of a mile from my house. I can walk there in 5 minutes, which is really nice. So Yeah, because one of the main problems that I have with my current space is that while I'm currently gardening on about, my whole lot is about an eighth of an acre, but the area of that eighth of an acre that is gardenable and flower farmingable is very small. It's like less than half of that eighth of an acre. And last year I purchased the lot next to my house, which is also an eighth of an acre, but it is a current overgrown forest. So that's probably not going to be flower farmed this year. And so my plan was just, before I met this other person, was to just go like all in on my own lot and try to maximize what I can make off of what I have available, which, spoiler alert, would probably not be very much. But it would be something. It would be better than nothing. And that's what I was going to do. And then they have like, I can't even emphasize how much space they have compared to mine to grow. And they've been putting years and time and effort into basically curating everything you need for a flower farm, but without that final step of becoming a flower farm, like becoming a business and bringing in money, which is sort of where I've been also, but on a much smaller scale. So I think we're both in a very similar but also different spot, and I think it's going to work out. It's been about a month and a half that we've been working together, and yeah, I think the main thing is that it's like a long haul thing. It's not like, farming and agriculture are not get rich quick schemes. Anybody who's trying to tell you that it is selling you something or lying or both. And that's my hot take, I guess. But anyways, I think this feels like the right thing for me. The only problem is that like it takes a lot of time and I still have to do my like day job, which is my self-employment. But I'm hoping that through just doing it, just going for it, just jumping in a sense, something will catch me on the way down. I'm young, I'm 20, I can like take risks. All I have are cats. I don't have children, I don't have a partner. Like, I'm just so free to do stuff, which I think is something people don't talk about when you don't have like those things that take up your time that are necessary, like caring for children or being with a partner, or if you have parents that need caring for. Like, there's all these things that a lot of people have that take up their time and their effort and their energy and their love and their attention. I don't have that, which I feel really lucky to, and I also feel like I've made that my life. So I want gardening and flower farming to be my life and my home and my garden. So this is me going for it. This is me trying. I think this is going to be my video for the day. I've been doing a weekly series on Mondays where I start seeds, but I also think that as we get into like the heat of the season, that's going to be harder and harder to just like keep up with, because like today I just need to get the seeds started. Like, I just need to get it done, and I don't really have that much time to edit like a full video. So yeah, but I'll let you know what I'm starting. I made my crop plan. Let's see, I have notebooks. Yeah, so basically the idea is that we're doing flower subscriptions. Let me know your thoughts on this. And I don't want to overextend myself or ourselves, but I also want to make sure we have enough flowers. And I also want to make sure we're making enough to pay ourselves, which is part of the whole thing with doing this. But basically, I came up with some basic recipes for flower bouquets. This is like the process of how I'm planning. If you do it differently, let me know. If you think I'm missing something, let me know. I think we can all learn and share information with each other. And what works for me might not work for someone else. And it's a lot of math. It's a lot of planning. And I've never done this before to fruition. So I don't know if this is going to work. But I'm just going to tell you what I'm thinking might work and what I'm going to try to do. So basically, I came up with what flowers I think I want to put together in bouquets. I think the light is changing. A big part of what makes this work is that I did grow flowers last year. Like, I'll put some pictures of the bouquets that I had last year. So I referenced those, and I have the dates, so I kind of know what was blooming in my personal garden last year, what flowers I was putting together. And so working backwards from those sort of, not really formulas with colors, but formulas with plants, like the actual flowers themselves, I look up the day to bloom for each flower variety that I want to grow. So that's where you get more of the creativity, because like some sunflowers are like 50 to 60 days, other ones are 60 to 70 days. So that's where you could get those fluctuations. And you always want to add, from my experience, like buffers. You want to add time for the plants to germinate, and you want to add time for like the weather to be crazy hot, crazy wet, crazy dry, crazy cold. Like you want it to give your plants time, because they won't always be within that window. So for May, the general recipes are peonies, snapdragons, phlox, and maybe foxglove. I'm kind of iffy on the foxglove because it's toxic and poisonous. So somebody who has cats or pets or little hands, little babies, might not want a toxic plant in their home, understandably. So having variations, I think, will be key. But these are, again, for subscription flowers, not for retail flowers, because, again, the person that I'm working with has put so much time and effort into their gardens, and so there's going to be so many things to pick for retail and market bouquets, but this is going to be a specific cutting garden for subscription, so they're not going to be cut for anything else until the subscriptions have been fulfilled. Once the subscriptions have been fulfilled, then I think that it's fair game, but when someone pays for a subscription, you want to make sure you have that product for them, because they've paid probably a sizable chunk of money ahead of time being promised flowers. So you want to make sure you have those flowers for them. And luckily I live around a lot of other flower farmers that grow wonderful and beautiful flowers that we could always buy from if we're short. So that also helps have like a buffer or a plan B, I guess. But those are sort of like the May flowers that I'm thinking. And then for June, I have like sunflowers, but I want like the springy ones, like the ones with like the green centers that are not quite like classic bold fall sunflowers, but will be a pretty easy and cheap flower to grow. Marigolds and celosia / cosmos. So I'm kind of sticking to the cheaper flowers, like no fillers, nothing like crazy, because I live in an area where people, I think, have a hard time with fresh flowers, or like understanding why you might buy them. So sticking and trying to keep things on the lower price end, which means low effort, low cost, low cost for us, low cost for the customer, is kind of what I'm thinking, but we'll see. July, zinnias, marigolds, and cosmos, but mixing up all the colors. So with that kind of crop list, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 potential flowers: peonies, snapdragons, phlox, foxglove, sunflowers, marigold, celosia, and cosmos. I calculated how many I would put in each bouquet and then multiplied that times 25, and that would give me the targeted weekly number of stems, and then multiplied that by how many weeks I plan on having those bouquets. So 4 weeks per formula, which equals quite a few stems. There's a lot of nitty gritty, but basically I figured out when the plants need to be started. I figured out what plants I want to grow, how many I need to grow, when I need to start those plants, and then made a calendar based on that. So today, which is March 18th, today, which is about mid-March, I'm going to be starting indoors to transplant out in about a month marigolds, cosmos, and then I'm also going to be direct seeding annual phlox in the garden space. So maybe later this week I will show you that, but that's really what I'm focusing on. The other things are like flowers for drying. So we have a lot of dried flowers that we're trying to sell and do things with. Like, oh, I'll show you. Where is it? I made this thing. So I'm not going to lie. I did see this on Pinterest, but it's a little, I call it a fairy bouquet just because it's cute and small. But yeah, so I took some of the flowers that I grew last year that I had dried and basically just rearranged them into a tiny little bouquet. And you could wrap like a little ribbon around it and do it as like a thank you gift. These would make great like party favors or thank yous for weddings. And this is something that we're going to try to pursue. That's what I mean with like creative ways to make a business based around flowers and beauty and just colors and fun. So yeah, we made these flower bouquets, and last market we sold 2 of these. So the 2 little girls, I think. I wasn't there, but yeah, we sold 2 of them, and I think they're so cute. So this has feverfew, some sage, Mexican sage, celosia, a straw flower, and some gomphrena. So this is a little fairy bouquet. I think they're so cute. They look really cute in like just a little tiny, like a bud vase or something. They're adorable. They are a little tricky to staple, but I did finesse a few of them, and they're really cute. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to be doing flower farming. Big announcement. Big announcement, everybody. Flower farming 2025. Yep. I have quite a few things. The other thing I'm going to do today is pot up all the things that I have growing. The last time I checked in with you, these are my nasturtiums. They are thriving. They are doing great, and they need desperately to be put up. I can see some roots peeking out the bottom. So these are my little nasturtiums. I think I started 11 of them, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And these were from a 50-cent seed packet from Walmart. So my nasturtiums are coming up. Let's see what we have. I also started, I didn't tell you this, sorry. I started some beets. I've never done transplants for beets, but I have a really hard time getting them started in my garden, so I thought this might be the way to go. And they only have their cotyledon leaves up, so I think I'm going to start hardening them off anyways. The weather's going to be really nice this week. We'll just see. They came up really easily, so I could always do another round if things don't flesh out. I have some lettuces. You can't see them, but I have lettuces down here. And then this is the tray. Look at this tray of goodness. This is so many plants all in one. This is like the standard tray, and this is why I love starting my seeds like this. And I'm so excited that I have a greenhouse or an outdoor space that I can put these all. I don't think I need to harden them off because the weather this week is going to be, I think, perfect to transition these just straight outside. Like we have temperatures that are going to be very similar to inside my home. That they'll be similar in the greenhouse. They'll be like 50 degrees outside, 60 to 70 degrees in that greenhouse that I have. So I'm very excited. We have my artichokes are thriving, absolutely thriving, and I want them to do really well. These I want to grow mostly as like an ornamental, like decorative plant. I just love that like light. They get really big, but I just love the look. My echinacea, I started 10 seeds. Botanical Interest seed packet was $5. And I only have 3 little babies. So I really need them to live. So they also are going to get potted up. I have some marigolds that I started a few weeks ago that are looking okay. Not as good as I would hope, but I think that's on me. I have these Dollar Tree zinnias. These are supposed to be short zinnias, and they look absolutely amazing. I have a bunch of different... I have a bunch of tomatoes that all need potted up. I have a bunch of basil that needs potted up. I have snapdragons. I'm probably going to honestly leave the snapdragons in a container like this, but I'll just move them around. I think they really like that. I have a whole little flat of ageratum I'll show you. And then I also have my blue glitter like globe thistle that is also growing. I started 25 seeds and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them are growing. They're growing their second set of true leaves now. So they are well on their way. Everything in here is well on its way and ready to be potted up. So I'm going to be doing that today as well. But I want to get this video up. Checking off the list, the never-ending list. But these are the ageratum. Ooh. They germinated so easy, so quick. There is a whole little forest of them. I think that's going to be a job and a half to separate them out. But they also apparently make good dried flowers, which is interesting. I didn't know that. And then I was looking at Johnny's to figure out when I was doing the crop plan whether or not I wanted to include the ageratum. And they had a picture of them dried, and I was like, those are holding their color and they look gorgeous. So maybe they're a good dried flower that we can also dry. So this is my whole tray that I need to meticulously separate out and pot up into trays, and I'm going to keep them in my greenhouse, and the trick will be keeping them watered. And I also have a tray, three trays, a box from Farmer Bailey coming. They've been doing ready to ship Fridays where the plants aren't on sale, but they're ready to ship. Normally, if you buy cut flower plugs from Farmer Bailey, if you don't know about cut flowers, you can start them from seed, but people who have larger operations or don't have time or have kids or all those other things I was talking about, they buy plugs. So you pay someone for the time and the effort and the resources of starting plants, and you can get them shipped to you, but the problem is that you generally have to order them weeks in advance, and you kind of have to put out a pretty big chunk, depending on your budget, of money up front just to meet their sort of minimum shipping requirements. So we got some ready to ship plugs, or the person I'm flower farming with got some ready to ship plugs, but they're going to come to me and I'm going to take care of them. There's some Lisianthus, and then they also had adventure trays, which are like a whole, basically a mismatch. It's a whole bunch of random things that whatever grower, in this case it's the Growin' Something grower, there will be one of each tray coming, and tray 1 includes, there's any number of these things, like they're going to come unlabeled, and like the whole tray could be mostly one thing or it could be a mix of everything. There's no way to know. It's kind of like a mystery box. It's like a gamble. It's like Sunny's Angels, but for plants and flower farmers. Adventure tray number 1 includes Lisianthus, Helichrysum, Matricaria, Dianthus, Pansies, Rudbeckias, Petunias, Eryngium, I'm going to say Telotus, and Flacanthus. I'm not sure how to pronounce those. And tray number 2, Adventure tray 2, was a little bit less. It was 55. Tray 1 was 70. And tray 2 includes Ami, Bupleurum, Didiscus, Cosmos, Annual Phlox, Snapdragon, Marigold, Stocks, Gomphrena, Zinnia, Daucus, Orlea, Delphinium, Digitalis, Verbena, and it says Gomphrena again, so I'm not sure what that means. You also don't know what colors you're going to get. So it's a whole big mystery of what you're going to get. And some things could arrive and I might literally not know what they look like in that seedling stage, but they're supposed to be arriving, so that will also be coming soon if I can get it in my brain to feel myself doing it. So I just wanted to do a little check-in because I didn't post a video last week, but hopefully things will be back. I had a migraine, which is part of the reason why I didn't post. But yeah, a lot of fun things, a lot of exciting things. Hopefully I can share as much as possible with you all, because I think I will want to look back on this and document this year. Hopefully it is the first year of many growing flowers officially. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. If you want to follow me on this journey, be sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, I need to go get these seeds started. I need to post this video. And you will see me in the next video, which will hopefully be Wednesday. We have a lot of puttering to do around my garden. So it's time to putter. It's puttering season. Okay,